It's time for another set of lesbian love stories. That's right, we're back with more tales of romance and passion between our favorite sapphic couples. So sit back, relax, and get ready to swoon. And be sure to stick around until the end because we have not one but two stories for you today. Let's jump right in. The record player hummed softly in the corner, filling Lara's bookstore with jazz and memories. Rain streaked the window, blurring the lamplight into hazy halos. Behind the counter, Lara arranged a display of poetry books, each page a potential universe. Her fingers brushed a worn copy of Sylvia Plath's Ariel, and a smile touched her lips. Across the room, a bell chimed, announcing a new arrival. Lara looked up to see a woman with hair like spun moonlight and eyes that mirrored the stormy sky. Iris Bell. Ever since Iris had stepped into the store 2 months ago, she'd become a regular, drawn by the scent of old books and stories yet to be written. Today, she held a dog-eared copy of Virginia Woolf's Mrs. Dalloway. Iris, Lara greeted her, her heart doing a little dance. Iris smiled, her eyes crinkling at the corners. Lara, have you read this? She asked, gesturing to the book. Every page, every word, Lara replied. It's one of those books you reread when you need to remember life can be beautiful, even in the grayest of days. Iris nodded. I feel that. Sometimes I forget beauty exists beyond these four walls. She looked around the store, the shelves laden with tales waiting to transport her. Lara knew that feeling. As a child, she'd escaped to fantastical realms with every book she read. Now she shared that magic with others, filling her store with words that soothed the soul and stirred the heart. The rain intensified, drumming a rhythm on the glass. Would you stay for tea? Lara blurted out, surprised by her boldness. Iris's eyebrows rose, then curved into a smile. I would like that very much. Cozying up in a corner table with steaming mugs between them, they talked for hours. Not just talked. They spoke in hushed tones about dreams and disappointments, desires whispered in the dark, fears confessed under the soft glow of a single lamp. They discussed books and art, the spaces in between words where understanding bloomed. Lara found herself leaning closer, not only because of the dwindling heat, but because Iris's presence was a moth to her flame. When the store finally emptied and the night deepened, they stood up, their hands lingering at the table. I didn't realize, Iris began, her voice softer than the closing bell, that I needed someone to understand the stories swirling in my head until you. Lara's fingers traced the rim of her cup, the warmth spreading inside her. We're surrounded by stories, she whispered, but sometimes the greatest tale is the one we haven't written yet. Iris gazed at her, her eyes shining. Well, then let's write ours together. With a trembling hand, Lara reached out, intertwining her fingers with Iris's. Their hands fit together like two pieces of a forgotten poem, promising a story worth telling. They walked out into the night, the rain-washed streets reflecting the neon glow of distant lights. As they strolled, their fingers intertwined, the unspoken words hung between them, a symphony of emotions conducted by the silent language of touch. Under the shelter of an old oak tree, they stopped, the rhythm of the raindrops a soothing backdrop to their quiet breaths. Iris turned to Lara, her eyes shimmering with unshed tears. I want to tell you something, she began, her voice catching. Lara held her gaze, her own heart echoing the vulnerability in Iris's voice. This may be sudden, Iris continued, and perhaps I'm reading too much into the worn pages of our shared stories, but the truth is I find myself falling for you. The raindrops intensified, mirroring the torrent of emotions surging within Lara. Iris, she breathed, unable to utter anything more. The unspoken hung between them, heavy with emotion. Iris closed the distance between them, her lips brushing against Lara's in a whisper of a kiss. It tasted of sweet promises and untold chapters, of beginnings and endings and all the stories yet to unfold. When they finally pulled away, breathless and entwined, the rain had stopped. The clouds parted, revealing a sky dusted with stars. Lara looked up, a smile gracing her lips. Just like the ending of a fairy tale, she whispered. Iris nestled her head against Lara's shoulder, content to stay in the silence as long as it was shared. They stood there, two souls finding solace in each other's presence, knowing that their story was just beginning. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the bustling city streets, a lone figure emerged from the subway. Maya Hernandez hurried along, clutching a stack of design portfolios. The crisp autumn air nipped at her cheeks, mirroring the flush that crept up her neck. Her destination, the loft of renowned fashion designer Isabella Isa Cortez, whose name echoed through the industry like a whispered legend. Isa was known for her bold creations, for breathing life into fabrics and turning runways into canvases of self-expression. But to Maya, she was more than just a name. From the moment she'd seen Isa's work during her college years, she'd dreamed of one day stepping into that very loft and impressing the woman who seemed to speak the language of style and soul. 5 years and countless design revisions later, Maya was here. The door to the loft swung open before she could knock, revealing a whirlwind of fabrics, patterns, and half-finished masterpieces. And standing amidst the organized chaos was Isa herself. Her eyes, sharp and curious, scanned Maya's portfolio, pausing at each sketch, each seam, each stitch. The air crackled with anticipation, the quiet rustle of turning pages speaking volumes in a silent language of creativity. An hour passed, then another, filled with sketches, critiques, and shared laughter. When Maya finally sat down, her hands trembled slightly. "That was," she began, her voice catching, "more than I could have hoped for." Isa smiled, her eyes twinkling with admiration. "You have a gift, Maya, an eye for detail, a touch of whimsy and a dash of audacity. It's rare to find such raw talent." Before Maya could respond, a knock echoed through the loft, pulling them both from their design reverie. At the door stood Isa's assistant, Daniel, his expression a mix of surprise and concern. "I'm sorry to interrupt," he began, "but we have a problem. The lead stylist has come down with a fever and I thought, well, there's no one better than you, Maya." Maya blinked, taken aback. The weight of the task almost made her stumble, but she caught herself quickly. Looking up into Isa's expectant eyes, she saw not just a challenge, but an opportunity to prove herself. As the night wore on, the loft transformed into a flurry of activity. Fabric swatches became makeshift outfits. Accessories were hastily arranged and shoes took center stage. Through it all, Maya stayed focused, her needle flying across seams, her scissors snipping with precision. Beside her, Isa orchestrated the chaos, barking orders, making adjustments, and offering words of encouragement. Finally, as the clock struck midnight, the collection was complete. Stunned by the transformation, Maya surveyed the racks, her heart swelling with pride. Each garment told a story, a testament to hours of blood, sweat, and creative genius. When Isa approached her, her eyes shining with admiration, Maya knew she'd not only impressed the legendary designer, she'd forged a connection, a shared passion that transcended the boundaries of fabric and thread. In the quiet moments after the show, as the applause echoed in their ears, Maya felt a tap on her shoulder. Turning around, she found herself face to face with Isa Apare. Her eyes, usually sharp and assessing, were now filled with a warm smile. "You did it, Maya," Isa said, her voice thick with emotion. "You breathed life into these designs, made them sing on the runway." Words couldn't express the gratitude and admiration Maya felt. Looking at Isa, she realized she hadn't just landed a job, she'd found a mentor, a friend, and perhaps something more. As the night deepened, the city lights twinkled, mirroring the excitement in Maya's heart. She knew this was just the beginning. Together, she and Isa were poised to change the fashion world, one stitch, one color splash, and one daring design at a time.